you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Welcome to the T.O.M.A Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. We are an all-inclusive, Black-conscious, righteous movement dedicated to the social, economic, and spiritual survival of Black people in urban America. If you enjoy what you see and hear today, the T.O.M.A Nation would like to extend our invitation to you and your family to join us each and every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30, live here on Facebook from Chicago, Illinois. Tune in and be fed by God's messengers. For more information, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. Please join me as I recite our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self-existent, He who directs the sunships of millions of years, and He who made time the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Omari and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansaf, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to Him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and our Renubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now we are going to transition into our 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1, we believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2, we believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3, we believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all Black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a Black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. Number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the Black communities of urban America, to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now please join me as I recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Make sure you're paying attention and your right fist is in a ball raised in the air. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in this future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 millions back of it, whose destiny depends on it, the red, black, and green of it. Oh, flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it. Maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what it's told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right hand in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem.
Rejoicing,
Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
All right, welcome everyone to the T.O.M.A Nation's Sunday worship service. At this time, I'm going to introduce Minister, well, should I say Pastor? I'm sorry. Well, better yet, I'm going to introduce Minister Raheem Kased Aton. He's going to introduce who's going to come to us next. So please welcome Minister Raheem Kased Aton.
Peace, peace, family. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I am Minister Raheem Kased Aton, a founder of the T.O.M.A Nation, and we welcome you to this part of our Sunday worship service. We're going to be more so dealing with it in a different fashion. We have a special guest today that's going to talk to you addressing a lot of the violence in our community, but specifically the killing of our young people, our children, ages 4 all the way up to 15. And right here in Chicago, it's at an all-time high. And so I want to introduce to you a minister, a pastor, a young lady that the T.O.M.A Nation has been working with. She is the pastor of Restoring Hope. And she's going to come on and share with you some concerns and address the issue that we're facing here in Chicago and probably throughout the United States about not just gun violence, but now how it has trickled down to our children being killed on these streets and even in their homes. I'm going to introduce to you lady, boots on the ground, out there addressing these issues. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Victoria Gray.
Greetings, family. Are you able to hear me okay?
You're good.
Love, peace, and blessings. I'm very, very grateful to Minister Raheem Aton for allowing me to join the worship. I'm with you pretty much every Sunday, but to be able to be on to speak. I'm on here with an extremely, extremely heavy heart. And I expressed my feelings, and Minister Raheem graciously invited me to join in today's worship as we deal with the difficult and even unacceptable killing of our babies. The unacceptable killings of our babies. I looked at T.O.M.A's rights to define, develop, and defend. And if we cannot defend our children, then what good are we? Yeshua said, ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its flavor, then it's good for nothing. If the salt has lost its savor, then it's good for nothing. And it's good to be trod underfoot of men. So we are the salt of the earth. But if we've lost our savor, then we're really good for nothing. And we're good to be trod under the feet of men. I will not apologize for standing up for our children. I'm letting you know now, I will not apologize for standing up for Black children and children. It is unacceptable that we are living in a community where our children are literally being killed and gunned down. If I'm not mistaken, we have with us one of the parents who recently lost her baby. In the spiritual realm, we don't even believe that death is a loss. We believe it's a transition. However, in an instance where a baby is killed, that feels to me like a loss. Like loss. We lost something. We lost someone of value. We lost someone great amongst us. And so I would like to take a moment to have you hear from the mother of Michael Moultrie, fondly called MJ, as his mother, Angela Gregg, joins us today from her perspective to talk about her baby, and as far as I'm concerned, about anything that she wants to say. Because by the grace of God, only by God's grace, many of us have not sat in her seat. But that does not mean that we don't care. And it don't mean that we don't stand with our sister. We stand to defend the right of our children. It's a human right. It's on the books. It's an international law. Children have the right to live, and they have the right to a high quality of life. And that's all children. So it is my, I don't even want to say pleasure, but I am very pleased that she has joined us today, because we need to hear from our queens that have lost their babies. And one of them is here with us today. So I'll introduce you to Angela Gregg. And she's more than just Michael's mother. She's a young lady living her life, being a good citizen, doing what she needs to do, taking care of her baby. And still yet, this is where she is. So thank you so much for joining us, Angela. We stand with you. I'll keep saying it over and over and over again, that I and we, your people, we stand with you. So please speak to us in your own way. Angela Gregg.
Thank you so much, Pastor Victoria. And I just want to say thank you to the T.O.M.A Nation just for even giving me the opportunity to speak about my son. Um, as she said earlier, his name was MJ. He was 4 years old, and he was visiting his father in the city of Chicago to get his hair braided when a drive-by shooting happened and 2 bullets pierced my baby's brain. And he fought for his life for 2 days. But unfortunately, after 2 days, he could no longer fight, and he passed away for something so senseless, for something just not, it doesn't even make sense why he was taken from me. Um, he was 4, he was innocent, he loved the city of Chicago. He was so excited to come and visit his father, and he was taken from me for no reason at all. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it, how big I am about my people, because I'm very sensitive about my people, and I love my people, and I fight for my people every single day. But to see this happen to him, and he was only 4 and he did nothing wrong. He was literally just here visiting his father, and he was shot and murdered. And I do have a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering, but I do want to come up with some solutions for the children that are not being protected here. We do our absolute best. We're doing everything that we can to bring up righteous children. MJ was very intelligent. He was very smart. When we were getting back home to Alabama, he was actually getting ready to be tested to move up a grade from pre-K to kindergarten. That's how brilliant he was. And he was taken from us for no reason at all. Absolutely no reason at all. So it's heartbreaking. Um, for this to happen to him. And not only is it heartbreaking to lose my son, to have to bury my son, I also don't have any justice for him. So I've been in Chicago almost every single day since he was murdered, and nobody is coming forward. Nobody's saying anything. We have no leads for someone who can be so demonic to take my son away from me and have no heart and no sympathy for him to come forward and say anything. So there's also an issue that I have with that too. The fact that you can take something of so much value from someone that you don't even know and not even have a heart to speak up, to say anything. And I know that there's a certain code of the streets that you're not supposed to speak, and you're not supposed to snitch, but I think that there should be no protections for crimes like this. There should be no protections for criminals who want to come into the city of Chicago or anywhere and you want to shoot to kill. Now, maybe your intent was not to shoot MJ, which I know it wasn't. However, you were intending to shoot someone. And the person that you shot and you took and you murdered was my 4-year-old son. And I have no justice for him. And I'm really just at a loss of words, for my people, because honestly, like I said, I fight for you guys every single day. I fight for us. I believe in us and I love us. And it's just heartbreaking. It's disheartening to have to come here for us to spend some time as a family, you know, to break that stigma that we can still do this and that we can still be a family against all odds, and to have to go home with my son in a casket. It's it's infuriating. It's devastating, but at the same time, it's also terrifying for the other children of Chicago who, you know, can't even go and get their hair done, who can't even live and can't even grow up in a city that's so beautiful and has a lot to offer. There's more to this city than just the gun violence, and that's what needs to reign. But it's not raining. What's raining right now is bullets and babies, and bullets do not belong in babies. You know, I'm very passionate about it, you know, and it's by God's grace and the prayers of my people that I'm even able to get up and to continue to speak about him and to continue to fight for justice for him, because it's hard. It's hard when it was your only child and he was so brilliant and he had so much life and he loved everybody. He was such a light. He was not, you know, a bad child. He definitely did great. His teachers, his family, his friends had nothing but great things to say about him because he was 4. He was 4 years old. What could he have done to deserve such violence done to him? 2 bullets in his brain. And to me, that just speaks to his intelligence. The devil knew how smart he was. The devil knew how educated he was. The devil knew that there was a purpose in my son and that he was going to change the world. So that's why the devil went to his brain, and they made sure that they shot him twice to take him out. And this cannot happen. It has to stop. It has to stop, and it has to stop now. So I'm just coming to you guys, and I'm just begging you, if you know anything, if you know that your family is involved in such crimes, if you know that somebody may be going down the wrong path, talk to them, help them, because the end result is our children and our future in caskets, and it should not be that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want you to know that we are yet praying with you. You know, I just really appreciate you coming on here and speaking. The Black community is out of control. The Black community is out of control. And it is infuriating. It's very infuriating. And Angela, as you know, I stood with you in the community a couple of weeks ago, and I actually stood right outside the window where that you referred to, and it dawned on me a few days ago. A message came to me. The topic of a message came to me. The other side of the window. On the other side of the window. So, Black people, we have got to rise, and we have got to say that it's past time that we do something different. We have to do it. And there's nothing like a Black woman saying enough is enough. There is nothing on this planet like Black women saying enough is enough, doggone it. And then being backed up by the Black man. And I know that the father, the man is the head of the household. I do understand. I'm speaking in terms of the violence in the community, in the household. The man is the head of the household. In terms of our liberation and movements towards a better life and liberation, we know that in many instances, it's been the women that have stood up and said, doggone it, no more. And so I think about the other side of the window. On the other side of that window, there was a 4-year-old baby that was doing nothing but getting his hair braided or twisted or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, getting his hair did. And these bullets fly through the window. On the other side of the window, the baby should be able to play. On the other side of the window, the babies should be able to do their homework. On the other side of the window, babies should be able to sleep in their beds without their bodies being riddled with bullets. On the other side of the window, there should be joy of the family. spending time together. And we're not going to keep being able to blame other people. And yeah, there's accountability from those that benefit from what's happening. But today we're going to talk about some self-accountability, because no matter how many weapons that someone flood into your community and literally put in your hand, it is you that pull the trigger. It is you that pull the trigger. And just from a Black woman born and raised in Chicago, I'm sick and tired of seeing you young people. I'm talking about your part in it now, because I know it ain't just you. I know that. But your part in it. You are being used as puppets for others that benefit from the death of our children. You are being used as pawns. And it's a losing, and I don't even want to call it a game, but it's a losing game. We're losing left and right. You have cut off a bloodline. Michael, oh my God. God graciously sent him here to the earth, to the planet, to his mother, his father. That's a bloodline, you all. That means that with his life, he would grow up. He would have children, probably have children at some point, probably have grandchildren at some point, and great-grandchildren. That's a bloodline. That bloodline is gone. That bloodline is cut off. And you young people and older people, or whoever you are, the Black people that's doing this, your part in it, you've got to stop. This is a plea. This is a call for ceasefire. Let's stop being other people's puppets.
Amen.
Being able to get your hand on a gun so easily. You could get your hand on a gun easier than you can a book. It's so easy. Think about it. Think about how easy it is to get a gun. Think about how many guns are in our community, flooding left and right. Think about the age you can be to even have a gun. Look at little Adam Toledo, 13 years old, with a gun. So you got to think, baby, our babies, you got to think. You've got to wake up. I know you caught up in something, and right now it may feel real good to you. You may be getting money. You may be getting a little bit of name for yourself. You may be getting, who knows what you're getting. But at the end of the day, we are being used as pawns. And we've got to stop it, you all. We have got, and that comes from us. That comes from us. We've got to look at the household, these families, and we've got to figure out what different thing that we're going to do, because something's got to be different. Something has to be different, and it has to start now. And I don't even want to use the word start, because there are many of us that's working on this all the time. But when I say start, I mean at a different level. We've got to work on this at a whole different level. And Angela, as painful as it may be, I know you and I talked, and who can even fathom and figure out. But you said your baby was brilliant, and I believe you. I believe that baby is so brilliant, and I believe that you said something really key. You said that it's got to change, and you talked about his brilliance and how he was really ahead of himself. So, what does it look like, community? If we take the death of Michael and all of our other children, and we use that energy, and we say it happened, but it happens no more. The buck stops here, as they say. What if we were to have even a month, 2 months of no shootings, no killings, as someone in a coalition I'm involved in said, begin to stair-step this thing. But whatever we do, we've got to do something different. And if you think that we're going to stop the shootings in Chicago or any other city without challenging the ones that have a role in it, then you got another thing coming. When Yeshua walked the planet, when he ministered, he went against all odds. He had to stand up against the greatest forces of his day. That means some people had to be offended. That means some people had to be called out. He went into the outer part of the temple and kicked over the tables. Indignant anger, in righteous anger. And so I know we these warm, fuzzy, loving people. I know we are, except when it comes to each other. I know that. We real warm and fuzzy and loving and peaceful and forgiving when we're dealing with other people. But within ourselves, we don't see those characteristics. Well, that's what we need to bring home. The same love and regard that we have for others, we need to have for ourselves and our babies. And we have to do something different. So when I say we have to do something different, T.O.M.A's been giving solutions. Restoring Hope Ministries giving solutions. We're coming back to you in a few more days. And we're coming back to you with some concrete things that we can do. Because there's no use in doing all this talking if we just gonna go sit down somewhere and pretend that it didn't happen.
That's right.
See, Angela don't get to do that. This is real for her. But just as real as it is for her, it's real for others of us. So we'll be back to you in a few more days. And what we want you to do is begin in your own house. Michael Jackson once said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking if he'll change his ways. No message can be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. What a powerful, powerful message that brother left for us, his people. So, Angela, I want you to know that we are with you 100%. And I am not that one that want to see our babies locked up in prison. But I also am not that one. I cannot subscribe to babies or anyone else for that matter. 15, 19, 30, 4, 2, 5 months. Call the road. None of it is cool. None of it. None of it. So we're going to stop this killing ourselves. We have to do this. It's on us. It's on us. I think I might be running out of time. Well, I got a couple more minutes. So, Angela, I'm going to ask you, as you have heard me speak, and I am speaking as an ambassador of Yeshua. I am speaking as a Black woman. And the thing that makes me mad is that I know we can do better. We have come from better. We've come from against all odds. We have made it through some stuff. We done made it through some stuff as a people. And we have shown over and over and over and over ourselves. We have shown who we are. And young people, you're being tricked. You're being bamboozled. And some of you older ones too. But somewhere in this whole thing, gig got to be up. Gig up. Because we're not going to just keep burying our babies. We're not going to just keep, these are funerals. Don't call it a home going. Don't even open your mouth and say I'm going to a baby's home going. It's a funeral. And we're going to stop having funerals. Utilize the energy of this brilliant, brilliant, sweet little boy that was just looking forward to being in Chicago. And look what happened here in Chicago. So no, we ain't being cute. We ain't being fuzzy. We ain't being warm. And we ain't apologizing. Period. And let me say this, and I'm going to have Angela to say a couple of things. It's really interesting to me when we say we're working in our best interest, when we're standing up for ourselves, when we're speaking out in our own way, then we troublemakers, or we end up on somebody's list. Oh, don't talk to her. Well, you know she did. Yeah, I'm that. If that's what I got to be, then doggone it, I'm that. I am that. Yes, I'm saying it to y'all now. Yes, I am that. Period. Period. Put a period behind it. Put an exclamation point behind it. Yes, if that's what I am, then that's what I am. But we're not going to just keep burying our children. And we got to get our babies under control in these streets. They've got to stop being used by these other people that's pulling the strings. And we're going to do something different. Angela, is there anything else that you would like to say as we prepare to wrap up our segment? T.O.M.A Nation, we appreciate you staying on the wall and being unapologetically Black. And that doesn't mean we oppose other people. That means we preserve ourselves and we protect ourselves. And we have the human right to do that. Angela, anything else you'd like to say?
You said it so beautifully and so much passion, Pastor Victoria. Just thank you so much for your words. You hit it right on the head. It has to stop. We have to hold ourselves accountable. It's going to take us to save us. We cannot go in other places looking for us to help us until we learn to help ourselves. So that's what we're asking you to do. Stop killing babies. Stop killing the future. Put the guns down. Call for a ceasefire. Protect your own. Or else that'll be your baby. That'll be your son. That could be your daughter. That's next. And don't protect the people that do this. If you know something, say something. I mean, the code has to stop. There should not be a code when we're out here killing the future. It just has to stop. And thank you guys again for having me and just allowing me to speak on my son's behalf and share his story.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to stick with you all the way throughout. All the way through. Our Restoring Hope Ministries is with you. I'm letting you know that right now. I told you that before. I'm telling you again. I'm going to keep telling you that. And I want to leave my Black people that I love so much. Youth, I love you. Y'all that roll with me, y'all know I love you. You know it. But I want to leave all of us with a question. And I'm talking about Black blood now. I know it's red, but I'm talking about Black blood. I want to leave you with a question. How much of our blood is enough? We'll see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Minister Raheem, thank you so much.
You have to unmute yourself, sir.
Can you do it?
You just did.
Huh?
You're good. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, you've heard the cry of two of our Black women in our community. One being a minister or pastor, the other just a citizen in America, Black woman raising her Black child. I want you to know that that cry is not in vain, because the cries of Black women throughout the world who have suffered, it goes into the community, it goes into the atmosphere. And it's that type of call that gets the ear of God. And then God sends us people like Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Harriet Tubman, all the way down to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Noble Jew Ali and Marcus Garvey, on down to Dr. Khalid, Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, all the way down to Minister Raheem Kassir Aton and others, coming through the birth, coming through the womb of a woman. God hears that cry. He sends us people. So men, there's a call out for us to answer the call of these two Black women to stand up in our community, and let's do what we must do. Now, this call can be answered Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. The T.O.M.A Nation goes back on the air live, but we will be on Zoom and we will be sending out a link. And in that link, it will be telling you, you got to look on your, Facebook page or whatever. We'll email or text whoever we can, but we're going to come together again. We're going to address this thing, and we're going to speak on what's going to be done and what is being done as we move forward to take back our community. I thank both of you for coming on. Now I want to move to the next phase and hear a message given to us by the co-founder of this movement, Brother Minister Omari, Jahi, Aton, and just one word in his title of this lecture is called insanity. Because what you heard based on the actions of our people is a form of insanity. And it is insane how we are addressing it and dealing with it, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to Minister Omari Jahi Aton. Peace, peace.
Thank you, Brother Minister Raheem. I appreciate that introduction. Again, my name is Minister Omari Jahi Aton. I'm the co-founder of this great movement called the T.O.M.A Nation, along with our founder, Minister Raheem Kased Aton, and our first lady of this great movement, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. I really appreciate the message of Sister Angela and Pastor V and the passion that they shared with us today. You know, I feel I feel ashamed in a sense that we have to have this kind of conversation. I feel ashamed that me as a black man that we have been almost disintegrated. Black men, I'm speaking of, annihilated. It's almost as if I don't know if you all are familiar with tactics of war, but when a person come in to attack you, the first thing they destroy is your method of communication, your communication system, and then they attack your military base of operation. Um, the military base of operation for Black people is Black men, and unfortunately, Black men feel the penal systems, almost 80 to 20 based on other races. The Black men dominate those, well, Black men and women, I should say, dominate the alcohol, drug, narcotic system of being addicts as well as drug users and pushers. We have fallen so far that it almost seems impossible to get back to the greatness that we once were, but it's not impossible. There is a process that I've learned, and it's called the process of atonement, that we have to atone for our sins. You know, it is my belief that we reap what we sow. What goes around comes around. I'm saying to us, now I'm not saying this to say, and I want to be clear, that Sister Angela deserved her son being gunned down. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking of us as a race of people. As a race of people, we have not done things properly like we should. As Pastor V said, especially among ourselves, how we treat one another. We'll forgive others, but can't forgive ourselves. You know, this mentality that we have, and this is why my lecture today was entitled Insanity, the New Thinking. You know, because if you all followed our teachings for the past week, we started this past, no, I'm sorry, we started Wednesday before last. And we're continuing it on this Sunday. But the message before, and see, you have to understand the previous messages because they interlink with the messages that are coming up. The previous message was a message that asks the question, what's going on? It kind of talks about basically, or even kind of connects with what we are talking about today. What's really going on? Why is this happening? We want to know why. We want to know what can we do about this. But to be honest with you, we really don't know what to do but keep asking, praying, and asking God for guidance, and asking the same people that put us in the ditch to get us out of the ditch. That's all we got. But I'm saying God is giving us another way out, brothers and sisters. Because you see, as Pastor V said, it starts with the individual. It starts with you and me accepting the reality of life as it is on this planet. We taught in our previous lectures about who really runs this planet, who really runs everything dealing with this planet. And we have shared with you our proof and our biblical proof, even through scripture, that indicates that God gave Satan rulership over this planet. Now, some of us still don't want to believe that, because to accept that reality would be to accept that everything that we know to be real or true has been taught to us by the opposer of God. And so we can't really expect that we are on the right side of God if we are the students, and the neophytes of his opposer. Now, if you all are, for all my biblical scholars out there, if you recall, when Jesus went into the wilderness and he fasted for 40 days and for 40 nights, that Satan came to him in the wilderness, if you recall. And if you also recall, Satan took Jesus up on a high mountain and he showed him the vastness of the world. And he told Jesus, all of this can be yours. I'm going to say it again. Satan told Jesus, said, all of this can be yours. I'll give all of this to you if you submit to me, bow down to me. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying it exactly as it was written. But the point is, how can you give something that you don't have ownership of? He was telling Jesus that he could make him a great man in the world. All he had to do was submit to him. But we all know what Jesus said: get thee back behind me, Satan, right? He refused Satan's offer. Now, there are many of us over generations, because let me show you what happens. And it's happening in our generation today. Children who were disciplined by their parents, and kept under strict guidelines by their parents, whether it was you had to go to church on Sunday, whether it was when you get up in the morning, you have to do your chores when you get home. I mean, strict guidelines from their parents. When they got older, they were so upset from being under those kind of strict guidelines that they vowed never to put their children under such a thing. And this is how the deterioration started. It started with the children not wanting to uphold the disciplinary ways of their parents. And even those children, they had their own disciplinary ways. It might not have been like their parents, but when their children got older, they vowed never to do to their children what their parents did to them that kept them in line as long as they had them in the home with them. Our rules, our regulations, it kept the children in line. It kept them out of trouble. It kept them from doing stupid things. But once they get free of us, the scriptures say, raise up a child in the way that it would go, and when it is grown, it won't depart from that way. That's what the scripture says. And in each and every one of our children, they have in them what we placed in them, but they don't realize the value of it or the importance of it until they get to become a parent like their parents. See, it's easy to judge from the back seat what mama and daddy had to go through and what they did in order to make life good for you and I. It's easy for us to judge. But the reality is that our anger and frustration as young adults began to reshape the image of blackness and the black family image over generations. We think we are improving because we got the new iPhone, we got the new cell phone, we got the new flat screen TV, we driving the new Lexus, we driving the new Cadillac, we got money in our bank account, we got PhDs and BHs and BSs, I should say, bachelors of science degrees. We got all these things that make us to believe we're advancing in life, but our family structure is deteriorating, starting with the removal of the man from the household. Now, I'm not going to harbor on that because all I'm doing is beating a dead horse in saying that, because the answer is reverse engineering. Once you know what the problem is, then do the opposite to put things back in place. If parents didn't allow children, and this when I was growing up, this is what it was like. Children didn't have their own phone. We can only talk on the house phone. So if somebody called for me at my mama and daddy house, my mama and daddy were the only ones that could answer the phone. And they determined whether you could talk to so-and-so or not talk to so-and-so because they were calling their house. Technology has eliminated that, where everybody got a phone now. Even the 4-year-old baby got a phone. I'm saying reverse that. It's not that technology is not bad, but technology should not be in the hands of children. Plain and simple. Technology in the hands of children is one of the issues, is part of one of the issues that we're having in our society right now today. It is not a coincidence, brothers and sisters. And I don't believe in coincidences. It is not a coincidence that all of a sudden school shootings just went off the map. Seems like every day some school getting shot up. That's not a coincidence. We have to accept the reality that a lot of the things that are going on in our community, especially kids getting shot in the head. Come on, 2 bullets in this boy's head, in this young man's head. That is not the shooting of these young boys in the street with their eyes closed, high off of reefer and alcohol. They just got lucky and shot this young man in his head twice. No, these are professional hits. I'm telling you, these are professional hits. And these people, these shootings are done in order to get a reaction out of us. And if they don't get a reaction out of us, then it's free game. And you know why there's no reaction from us? We do not have leadership. Do you know the last leader that black people had? I mean, real leader. And he wasn't the greatest. I got some questions on him. I had to say his name with quotes, air quotes. Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. The last black leader that black people on the planet Earth, in America, I should say, has had. Now, you know how long he been out the picture, right? The only other black man that falls in that category, in my opinion, would be Minister Louis Farrakhan. But the challenge with that is he's a Muslim. And there's no way Christians are going to follow a Muslim. I have a problem with that as well. The T.O.M.A Nation, we believe, well, we consider ourselves all inclusive, all denominational. And what does that really mean? It means if you believe in God, and we don't care if you call him Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, we don't get caught up into that because we understand that we go by many names. Some people call some people call me T, some people call me Tyrone, Minister O, Jahi. I go by all them different names, but that don't mean I'm different people. So let's not make God to be so different just because he's called by another group using another name. It's only one God. We know that. So let's not get caught up in that. And let's understand that, and we teach here in the T.O.M.A Nation, Minister Raheem, he constantly teaches us that we can't get caught up in those various diverse names, or even the fact that you wear a particular dress or you teach from another particular holy book. As long as what you teach represents and points back to the one true God of the universe, then we're good. And we read, we teach, and we study from the Holy Quran, and we read and we teach and we study from the Holy Bible, King James Version. And I say that because we understand why they have this division between Christians and Muslims. This ain't a God created thing. Remember, I told you, Satan's running this thing. And there's a reason why he wants to separate Christians and Muslims. And it's not because their religions are so different. To be honest with you, in our actuality, the Christian religion and the Muslim religion are related. I bet y'all don't even know that. Related by blood. Christians and Muslims related by blood. Let me prove it to you. In the Bible, there's a man by the name of Abraham. We're all familiar with Abraham. Even in the Quran, it speaks of Abraham. Abraham is considered and was called the father of faith. He was a friend of God. And God promised Abraham that his seed will wax mighty in the land. He made this promise to Abraham after he left his father's house and went in the desert, not knowing where he was going, because God had commanded him to do such. He made that promise to Abraham. And as time went on, Abraham didn't have any children. He was getting up in age, and he was wondering, did God forget about him? Because Sarah was barren, his wife, Sarah. And so Sarah and Abraham put their heads together and said, well, maybe you can have a child by my handmaiden, Hagar. And maybe that's what God meant. She's a part of our family, so it would be okay, because she's one of our handmaidens, Hagar. And that's what Abraham did. He went and impregnated Hagar, and Hagar had a child. The name of that child was Ishmael. Ishmael was the first child that Abraham gave birth to from his loins. Now, like most situations, Hagar felt she had the upper hand now on Sarah because she got a child by the man. You know, Abraham, he's the man. I got his child, his son. So now Hagar started to feel a certain way. She started feeling like, hey, um, I'm kind of in charge here, you know, and Sarah started seeing what was going on and demanded that Abraham put her and her son out. Hence, Hagar and her son Ishmael were banished to the desert. And her son Ishmael is the forerunner, the architect, or the what would it be called? Patriarch. That's the name of the Islamic religion. Now later on, the Lord came to Abraham and told him that he came to so that his wife would bear a child. And to make a long story short, the Lord went into the tent with Sarah, and she came out some 9 months later and gave birth to a child by the name of Isaac. Now, one child, Ishmael, Islamic religion. Guess who Isaac was the patriarch for what religion? Guess what? The Hebrew religion, which Christianity stemmed from, off from. So now we got two brothers, Isaac and Ishmael. Islam, Christianity, Hebrewism, related brothers. So, of course, Satan don't want us to be united because that's not Satan's thing. His thing is about division. And so he pits us one against the other. And so in the temple, this is why we read both books. Because if you want to represent the father of faith, what Abraham is, then he has two sons. You see what I'm saying? One representing Islam, 180 degrees of knowledge. One representing Hebrewism, and Christianity representing 180 degrees of knowledge. You put them both together, you got 360 degrees of knowledge of God. So if you only worshiping one side, you only got half the story. If you're only just a Christian, you're only dealing with half of God's faith. If you're only just a Muslim, you're only dealing with half of God's faith. You have to understand both in order to get God's clear, full message of what's really going on through his religion, through his word, through his holy books, plural, Quran and Bible. And so this is why we understand that in order for us to solve the challenges that we're having here, there has to be a reversal, a reverse engineering in order for us to see clearly how we got here. This is what we've been doing over the past week and a half. We've been laying out the groundwork, the mapping of how we got here, all the way from when the war took place in heaven, all the way to when the angels was cast to the earth, all the way to the point to where the serpent beguiled Eve, all the way to the point to where Cain killed Abel, all the way to the point to where they were cast out of the garden and Cain was kicked out because he killed his brother Abel and he found his people in a land called Nod. How can his people be in a land called Nod when we weren't aware there was any people on the planet other than Adam and Eve? This is what we have been taught. But the Bible clearly says that Cain went to a land called Nod and met his wife based on people like themselves. He joined with people like themselves and married his wife. So there's some other things going on here that we haven't been taught, that we're not being privy to. So in order for us to make what I would call uh, righteous decisions about where to move and how to move forward, you got to understand how we got here. You see, how did we get to? See, these are the questions we need to ask ourselves. How do we become so unprotected as a people? We protected ourselves in the 60s. Civil rights movement, we had black men and women. They were working back then. They had families back then. What's different from then and now? People were walking the streets. When they called for a bus boycott, there were black people in the past that rode the bus to work. There were black people in the past that had issues with, with presented issues because it was going to cause them a problem with getting to work. Some people even decided they had to walk, which means they had to get up even earlier. What's the difference between there and now? Black people working now. Why is it that we can't organize? They killed our leaders. I mean, can't you see it? They took everything away from black people that would allow us to be able to defend ourselves. The black man is the defense for black people. He always has been, and he always will. When he turned his woman against the black man, when this devil turned the black woman against her man, that's when we begin to see the challenge that we having, to the point where now, with the black man missing, this devil moves in as the provider for the black family. Let me show you what I'm talking about. He provides us with WIC. He provides us with SNAP. He provides us with unemployment. He provides us. He's providing us with shelter. He provides us with food. He provides us with education. He provides us with government leadership and guidance. He's providing us with everything. He even provides our security, the military, the Air Force, the Navy. He provides that for us. We do not provide anything for ourselves. Nothing. We're trying to, we're attempting to, but even in that, we still have to depend on him. So, what's the solution, we might ask ourselves? What's the solution to all the killing? What's the solution to us being independent and doing for ourselves? The solution starts with us recognizing who the enemy is. See, we've been made to believe that your brother and your sister that you walk down the street and pass by on the street and see on the street corner, we've been made to believe that that's our enemy. To be honest with you, the drug dealers and the gangbangers, that's the last line of defense we got. If they get wiped out, what else we got? I know some of you think we're going to pray our way out of this. Some of us think that. But you have to understand something, brothers and sisters. God gave this planet over to Satan. The only thing, if you remember, Job, and it's real ironic that's his name is Job. I don't think that's coincidental. There's something in that if we would just study it. But Job had a hedge around him, and Satan asked God, remove the hedge, and I bet you I can get him to curse you. Because God was asking Satan, what do you think about my servant Job? He's an upright man, blase, blase, we. about Job, and Satan was like, yeah, of course he's upright. Of course he believes in you and he worships you and this, that, and another. And he listens and follows your lead and your guidance and your commandments. Of course he does, because you got this hedge around him. You protected him. Stop protecting him. Don't protect him. Take the hedge away. Brothers and sisters, the hedge has been taken away. God is not protecting us from Satan. But you know one thing that he told Satan about Job, and I believe it's the same thing for black people, if we would just understand. He said, you can do anything you want to Job, but you can't kill him. I know, I hear y'all, Brother Minister. They killing us. They killing our babies in the street. You have to understand that when God spoke about killing Job and killing black people, see, black people as a whole, even though we're dying, they have the ability to wipe us off this planet. And this is what they choose and want to do, but they haven't done it because they can't do it. My point again is, if we want to change this thing, we have to recognize who we're dealing with. We got to understand all of the components in this equation. So you can't solve a math problem or a math equation when you don't know all the components of the equation. You have to understand who Satan is. See, we can't talk about no red dude in a pitchfork that live under the earth no more. That's child's play. We can't keep accepting that reality of Satan. Elijah Muhammad told us who Satan was. Martin Luther King proved it to us, who the devil is on planet Earth. What devil would sick dogs in water holes? I mean, who other than a devil, I should say, would sick dogs and water holes on peaceful people protesting, walking, minding their own business, not like the brothers and sisters did not too long ago. They went through the community and started tearing up some stuff. You can't call that a peaceful protest. But these people were peaceful. And what happened? They sick water hose, sick dogs and put water hoses on them. Now, let's look at the reverse. When those young people went through the community and started tearing up, what did they do? They stood down, didn't they? They didn't do anything. What does that tell you? What does that say to you? They are against peace. They are for violence. When you respond violently, that's what they like. They love that. They want you because you're not really by your nature a violent person or violent people. But they are making us to be like that. Why? Because what I want to show you something. I'm hoping I can share my screen so you all can see this. I'm hoping. Okay. This was a lecture that I was going to give today. I'm not going to be able to give it in its entirety because I know I only got 14 minutes. But I'm hoping y'all can see my screen. This I want to get to a particular screen here. Where is it? Oh, here we go. I think this is it. Okay, y'all see that? Can anybody respond real quick? Oh, I know y'all can't respond. I'm hoping y'all can see this stuff. Satan has the whole world in his hands. Now, these are 4 scriptures that speak to Satan being in control. Ephesians 22, wherein time past, we walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. I want you all to really remember that terminology. Prince of the power of the air. The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. See, remember in my lecture, I was speaking of two mindsets or two methods of thinking: God's way, Satan's way. God mapped out his way of thinking. He wrote them in commandments, beatitudes, and the Sermon on the Mount is another indication of how God perceives his people conducting themselves and how they should be. Now, Satan has a way also, but his way opposes God's way. So what does that mean? If God say, thou shalt not commit adultery, Satan says it's okay. Now let me prove it to you. Is it against the law to commit adultery in this on this planet? Oh, let me say really the right way. In the United States, is it against the law to commit adultery? Will you go to jail if you commit adultery? No. Let's check. Thou shalt not fornicate, meaning having sex before you're married. Is it against the law in this world? I mean, in the United States, to have sex without being married? Will you go to jail if you do so? No. Check. I'm just showing you, and if you go through the checklist yourself, as far as what God says and what this world says, and what this world, you have to begin to now understand why Minister Raheem and Minister Louis Farrakhan has been preaching and teaching for years. Come out of her, my people, that you may not be partakers in her plagues, because this world is under the rulership of Satan. You have to accept that reality. And then when you make your decisions based on knowing that this world is under Satan's rule, then you begin the process of changing things. You can't change things working in Satan's camp. You work for Satan. You go to school in his schools. Let me get this straight with you all real quick. Am I saying because you got a degree that something's wrong with you, and that you was wrong for going to school, getting a higher education, getting a better education? Am I saying that? No, I am not saying that. I'm speaking of how you use what you get from Satan. See, if you are for your people, then your education is supposed to be used to benefit your people, not you. God takes care of his people. I had individuals tell me, because he got one of them concealed carries, right? And I was saying to him, brother, what's the point in getting a concealed carry? You believe in God, don't you believe that God got your back, and like the scripture says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, your rod, not my rod, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And you know what he told me? He said, well, yeah, God created me to believe in him, but he didn't create me to be stupid. See, uh, it's stupid for me to believe that if I get into a situation, it would be stupid for me to believe that God has given me the ability to protect myself, and I don't do it, and I just rely on him to protect me when he's given me the ability to protect myself. No, God didn't give you the ability to protect yourself. Satan did. Are you hearing me? Satan allowed you to carry a gun, not God. Let's stop deceiving ourselves here. In the past, the white man has never wanted black people to have guns. Why now? Ask yourself the right questions. Why now? Why do he want us to have guns now? Could it be that what he is doing right now, and I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna tell y'all what I believe he's doing. He is killing our people, and if it's not him, it's a well, I know it's him, but I'll put it like this: I believe and I know that there is a white racist element in this country that was resurrected by Donald Trump when he became president. That white racist element stormed the Capitol building. That white racist element didn't go to sleep when Trump got out of office. That white racist element is behind the scenes, and they are the ones that are promoting, implementing a lot of these killings that are going on in our communities, whether it be them themselves or they have employed weak-minded black people to do it. Now, I'm saying all this to say, brothers and sisters, until we accept the reality of the world that we live in, the place that we are in history, revelations, and until we begin to see where we are, then we can't move forward until we accept certain realities about ourselves, our race, the mistakes that we've made. And understand this. It's not bad to make mistakes. We all make them. What makes mistakes bad is when you don't learn from them. And you continue to repeat them over and over again. I'm going to end with this. I want to show you. I meant to download this, but I didn't. There's a movie, a very popular movie that was out. That's called The Matrix. When The Matrix came out, boy, we was really, we was on to something. We was like, oh man, there's a secret society that's operating some stuff going on here, and they got people brainwashed and they got people asleep and they programmed this, the Matrix, And in the movie The Matrix, it was one scene that I really want to focus on. I'm hoping you all remember this scene. There was a group of people, if you all recall. Their leader was called oh well, what was his name? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank for some reason. I know it begins with an M. Met something, whatever it was. But my point is that there was a group of people that were no longer a part of the Matrix. They had been unplugged. Let's put it like that. And Morpheus, there it is. It came to me. Kind of sounds like morphine. You know, he came to ease our pain. Morpheus. Now, a member of the group was sold them out to the Sentinels, who were the enemy robots. This sellout, his name was Cypher. Cypher. Do you know what a cipher is? It's a circle. And this is what black people are in. You represent a cipher. And that's what insanity is. It's a cipher. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, but think you're going to get a different result. What was Cypher's reasoning for selling Morpheus in the group out? His reasoning was he missed eating a steak. Even though he knew it wasn't real. Because everything in the Matrix was computer programmed. But yet and still, he missed that connection with the devil. He missed that connection with Satan and the things that Satan provided for him. You know, he could live in a nice home and sleep in a nice, comfortable bed, with a flat screen TV, surround sound, drive an Lexus and eat at the best restaurants and all of this stuff that Satan offers. But the people that were with Morpheus were eating like it looked like slop. It wasn't even didn't even look like a lot of baby food really. And they were sleeping on steel bed frames. And so the cipher, I call, my other name for his nigga, the nigga decided he wanted to go back to his daddy, Satan. And this is the challenge with a lot of our people. We got rich billionaire, millionaire black folks that they want to do something for black people. King James, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of these folks way up there, they so far up away from us, it ain't even funny. In their heart, see what's going on with black folks and they want to do something. But if they do, they know they're going to fall off of their high pedestal. You know that high mountain that Satan took Jesus up on? They own it. And they looking off across the land because Satan has given them greatness because they submitted. They submitted to his tutelage and his leadership. That's my time, brothers and sisters. I hope that something I said spark or put a spark in your brain somewhere that you may begin to do some research and put some pieces together to see really what's going on and begin to eliminate the insanity. I thank you for listening. I'm going to leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but yet holy words of peace in the language of our fathers, of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Peace.
Thank you for joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. If you have enjoyed what you have heard today, please feel free to support our grassroots movement on Cash App at T.O.M.A. Nation. Once again, that's T.O.M.A. Nation. If you would like more information about what you've heard today or would like to connect with us, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. Thank you so much for joining us today and see you next Sunday.
Hey.